Cape Wind, dead in the water, forward motion for the shooting range, and a new polling place for Precinct 11 voters. These stories and more on this edition of Barnstable Today. It's Friday, October 7th, 2016. I'm Sarah Colvin. Town Council met Thursday, October 6th, and for a short agenda, it was a relatively lengthy meeting. First up, Cape Cod Regional Technical High School Superintendent Robert Sanborn took to the podium during public comment. He had an update on a planned capital campaign at the school's Harwich campus.
So I'm here to keep the lines of communication open. I just recently met with Mark Ells in my office, and one of his suggestions was to come on over here for public comment. I put together a little bit of a newsletter to show you where we've been and where we're going with our Massachusetts School Building Authority project. So you'll see on the front of the handout, which there's extras over on the side, I believe, you'll see that we've got our entire team together. We have an owner's project manager, we have a designer, that's Colliers is our OPM, and Drummy, Rosane, and Anderson is our designer. You'll see that we met with the town clerks. Thank you, Ann Quirk, for setting that up. We had a lovely luncheon in April, because this is a very intricate way to finance, to potentially finance a project at Cape Cod Tech. We have to go under Chapter 7116N, which I have explained to the council previously, but it requires a district-wide vote, and we had a great discussion and settled on a date, which I'll get to in a minute. Over the summer, we got together as stakeholders from people from inside and outside our school community, business people, members of our advisory committees, our staff, school committee members, and had 3 days, full days of visioning workshops, which informed our educational plan, which we've just recently submitted to the MSBA. We've had the architects in to talk to our staff for the first time, and those conversations will be ongoing. I'm now on the back page. Also, we've submitted our initial preliminary design program, which from those visioning sessions turned into a 60-page document that we sent up to the MSBA. But you'll see several things went along with that. An initial space summary from our architects, existing conditions and site conditions at our school. There's been a tremendous bevy of activity over the summer of contractors and consultants from our designer assessing the building. So that has been submitted. That was submitted just this week. On the timeline, I'd like to talk a little bit about that. As I said, we've now submitted that ed program, and we're moving into what's called the Preferred Solutions Study. Okay? And that will take from October through January. And after January, in the early winter, we will start to hear potential solutions. And the MSBA is mandated to do a base renovation, several renovation and addition options, and then a new facility option. So you can see the timeline in front of you, and in the interest of time, there's regularly scheduled school building committee meetings on here, and then the different milestones that will be along the way with the MSBA. But and then also a link to our website where all this information is also housed and up to date. You can check it at any time. We want to keep the line of communication open, and really, when's the next time you'd like to see me in regards to our project at Cape Cod?
The West Barnstable shooting range has been shuttered for several years. Now efforts are underway to revise plans for a land swap and to reclaim lead from the location.
We've completed the survey and perimeter plan of the proposed shooting range, the 27-acre parcel that we've discussed. We are proceeding to a hearing in October at this point. I believe it might be on the 18th, but I need to confirm that with Conservation Commission. to dispose of the shooting range parcel from conservation land to general municipal use, and in exchange for 17 acres on Breeds Hill Road, I've given you that map and parcel, you're all familiar with it, and then a 10.25 acre parcel, I've given you that map and parcel on Nye Road. These are parcels both that we've spoken with the state about and the leadership at conservation, and are agreeable at this point that this is an appropriate and adequate to be considered for this exchange. We're proceeding with filing documents with MIPA. I'm still waiting for clarification on whether I can do a modification to the existing determination for the environmental notification form we originally did, or whether I need to file a completely new document. It's not going to matter, quite honestly, to me, because I'm preparing it like it's a whole new document. So if they just say whole new document, we'll be ready to go. I'm just waiting for clarification. And we're going to begin formal. We've had informal but formal discussions about updating the memorandum of understanding that's required. And if you remember, that is needed because there were conditions put from the state put on a grant that we received when we originally purchased this property. And if we don't have a memorandum of understanding to accompany this, those conditions, whether we swap the land or not, will still exist. And they will not allow for a range to exist there. So we need both the land swap and the memorandum of understanding in place. And so we have originally received a affirmative nod that, yes, they'll move forward with the memorandum of understanding, and it's just a matter of updating it for the most current information.
Cape Wind has been trying for more than a decade to place 130 wind turbines in Nantucket Sound. Now it appears the project could be dead in the water. Barnstable's town attorney Charlie McLaughlin has been working on litigation related to the wind farm for some time. He announced that this week they received some surprise news from the organization.
Thank you, Mr. Ells. This afternoon around 3 o'clock we had a very surprising and important phone call. The Cape Wind Group has elected to withdraw their appeals from the denial of the extension of the permits. The withdrawal will be with prejudice, quote unquote. The case will be withdrawn from the Supreme Judicial Court, and the permits, all state permits that were obtained as part of a comprehensive process at the DPU are now void, and it does not prevent Cape Wind from revisiting or someone else revisiting and starting afresh, but they would have to literally start at the beginning and start all over again. We're having a conference tomorrow with our federal litigators to determine what effect that will have on the federal lease, and we will continue to have some discussions with Cape Wind on what will happen to the lease of the federal waters. But right now, the state litigation is over, so we're very happy for that result. Thank you.
Thank you for that news, Charlie.
The ultimate goal is to provide perpetual protection for Nantucket Sound. A substance abuse prevention campaign that aims to hang several provocative posters in key locations around town is being launched. Town Councilor Sarah Cushing and Councilor Jennifer Cullum have been working with the Substance Abuse Subcommittee on ways to persuade youth to stay away from drugs. Cullum described the poster campaign.
So that everyone can see at home. I hope that what they do is they spark a conversation. I hope it helps parents. I hope parents, when they take their kid to the doctor, they say, what are you prescribing my child? Because we know now that 4 out of every 5 addicts started with a legally written prescription. So I think it's a very important conversation, and I'm happy to be leading the charge with Councilor Cushing on it. And I'm thankful that we have the Youth Commission and all the players at the table. And I'm especially thankful for Chief McDonald for kicking the money down. And I'm happy that we have the seal at Barnstable on this. So we just wanted to give you a heads up that we're working towards something here.
Council got to the regular orders of the day late in the meeting. They voted 10-2 in favor of waiving construction fees for the Hyannis Fire Station project. Council also approved a change in polling location for Precinct 11 voters. The West Barnstable Community Building is not ADA compliant. This November, Precinct 11 voters will hit the polls at the West Barnstable Elementary School. Well, be sure to tune in to our hour-long daily newscast, Barnstable This Morning, weekday mornings at 8. Monday is Columbus Day, so Town Hall will be closed and we will be off the air. We'll return Tuesday with our regular roster of guests, including Chief of Police Paul McDonald, State Representative Tim Whalen, and Director of Public Works Dan Santos. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.